Today's show is by the listener. We open up the mailbag to answer if the Big 12 can catch up to the SEC and the Big 10. Will Baylor win a Big 12 championship in football again? And is Blake Shapen the end-all be-all to that? This is Locked On Baylor.
You are Locked On Baylor, your daily podcast on the Baylor Bears, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Happy Monday, everybody. Drake Toll alongside Cameron Stewart. Cam's with Inside the Bears. I am Baylor. Drake Toll, Cameron Stewart. I'm say it again, Cam. So nice we're going to say it twice. I told you folks that Cam would never be back. After 3 shows last week, they were all debacles. Absolute debacles. I got so many letters, hate mail. I got everything. And speaking of mail, Cam, I brought you back because you are one and because...
Last I checked, yep.
And because we have some mailbag questions that have been sent our way this week. The first one being, Cam. Also, by the way, today is the 68th episode of Locked On Baylor.
Very cool.
Yep, 68.
I think it's going to be a nice show.
Cam will not be on the next one for
come on,
reasons unbeknownst to all
Did Keith
of us.
Boatman get to you? Is this Keith Boatman's work?
It's Tom. Tom Lee put me up to this one.
I want to. Thanks,
Yeah.
Tom. Thanks.
Yeah.
Good looking out. That'll probably be good for my future.
Likely so.
Keith Boatman, I just want to shout him out. He doesn't know that I'm inevitable.
Likely so.
Of the
Cam,
several people who don't want me on the show, I just picked him for some reason.
It's a lot.
I'm inevitable, Keith
It's a lot.
Boatman. It is more than one, more than a couple.
It's also me. I have also made plenty of remarks about you not being on the show ever again. Cam, Jack Balistrieri from California, in the first mailbag question of the day, we're going to hit on the top of this show, says the Big 12 has the highest growth capability compared to the SEC and the Big 10. Both other conferences make so much money. They're close to reaching their full potential. The Big 12 has yet to reach its full potential, and especially with the new Rock Nation COO as the commissioner, he's about to get real aggressive with the growth. Shout out Jay-Z. So Jay-Z, know you're listening out there. Going to go ahead and give you a quick shout out.
Sean. Appreciate that.
Shameless plug. Cam, Jack feels as though there's a cap on the Big 10 and the SEC, and that those two conferences are reaching a point where their growth is going to be stunted to the point, plateaued to the point the Big 12 has room to catch up, especially with Brett Yormark at the helm and go.
I just don't what is the cap here? The Big 10 just added 2 teams. The Midwest Big 10 just added 2 teams from Los Angeles.
Yeah.
And we're talking about a cap here. There's clearly no cap. Sorry. Well, the kids are saying it these days. There is no cap to this thing. Okay? Shout out to those of you just listening, not watching. You didn't get the full effect of that. There's no cap. And even if you think that, we've talked about it on the show, and I think it's inevitable, much like myself, the SEC is going to go after those ACC schools. They're not done. Maybe not for a couple of years, but we're clearly headed towards the 2 super conference. So I want to understand, Drake. I do. I don't speak Californian, but I just don't understand, what is the cap? And if they have reached their cap and Baylor is about to ascend into the stratosphere, or the Big 12 is going to ascend into the stratosphere, who are they going to get? What is the Big 12's cap? Is the cap getting Utah, Colorado, Arizona State, Memphis, and SMU? What is the cap for the Big 12? You know what I mean? Even if you add all those Pac-12 teams we've mentioned, that does not make you a better conference than the SEC.
I will concur with that. I
just, you know what I mean? So even if Baylor rounds up everybody that is not from those top 2 conferences, the Big 12 does. So I keep saying Baylor. If the Big 12 does that, it makes them better, sure. But the SEC still has the great teams that have made them the best conference the last 15 years.
Cam, who is the commissioner of the SEC?
I don't even know, dude. Paul Feinbaum?
It's Greg Sankey. Yeah, Feinbaum only on Wednesdays. Sankey the other 6 days of the week. It's Greg Sankey. Greg Sankey's probably 68 years old. He'll turn, and next year he'll have a birthday. So Cam,
a nice one. Yeah.
Put Greg Sankey, since you don't know who he is, by the way. Thanks for doing your research for today's show.
Yeah.
I sent you the
Who
notes.
knows a commissioner of a conference?
Yeah.
It's like it's like an umpire. You don't know him until he F's
freaking
up.
easy. Mickey Garcia. Greg Sankey, okay? Put him in a room with Jay-Z. What happens? Yeah. It probably didn't go very well. Let me tell you that right now. The marketing
not for Greg Sankey. Not for Greg Sankey.
Not whatsoever. Jay-Z walks out of that feeling fine. That guy had a field day. Greg Sankey pees himself. He pees himself. Kevin Warren across the way in the Big Ten, a guy who I don't think is out of touch necessarily. Kevin Warren's a fine commissioner, in my opinion. He's pretty new at what he does as well. But put him in the same room as Jay-Z, and how does the marketing there go? Brett Yormark, on the other hand, is stepping into a role at the Big 12 where he's an outsider in that, look, Cam, I get it. Sometimes the outsiders don't work out very well at all. This guy is a genius in marketing, but not just marketing. Marketing in 2022. What do the kids want? The kids want...
I told you, dude, he saved a franchise.
They want still DRE. That's what the kids want right now. And Brett Yormark has the opportunity to do that in the Big 12. So I think where Jack's going with this, if I'm right, in our little mailbag deal, is the potential of the Big 12 is so much higher now when your commissioner is with the times as compared to those guys who might not be able to market and sell your conference as well. Look, if the Big 12 is in the forefront of like, okay, Arkansas.
With the times, Brett Yormark. Like you said, they still want DRE, right? So being with the times is referencing a song from 22 years ago, not by Jay-Z, if I'm just getting that right. Okay, go ahead. Just want to make that clear.
Exactly what I'm going for.
It's late, dude. It's late.
It is 12:07, 39 seconds a.m. on the East Coast right now, where I am.
Go ahead, though. We're trying to circle back to Jack's point.
It is. I wasn't trying to make a Jay-Z reference. Okay. What I meant was Brett Yormark is No Church in the Wild, right? Basically, No Church in the Wild. Brett Yormark's right there. Got some Kanye in there as well. I think Kanye's on No Church in the Wild. Did I get that one right?
Yes. Let's Watch the Throne. Yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you very much. So with that, I think the capacity for the Big 12, to grow very, very quickly with a guy who was the COO at Rock Nation as well is much, much higher than that of Greg Sankey or even the Big 10 with Kevin Warren. Because I don't think the Big 10 will ever be the SEC, which helps the Big 12, by the way. And the SEC has Greg Sankey. Not that he's a bad commissioner, but Brett Yormark is welcome. What did I say? Not welcome to the jungle. What did I say? What was the song?
No Church in the Wild.
No Church in the Wild. Boom.
Yeah. That's a good song, so I'll vibe with that. Yeah, again, and I'm not saying, like, obviously the Big 12 is going to expand. We've been talking about this for weeks and weeks, months now, all summer long, Kid Rock, not Jay-Z. But I just don't see how they eclipse that. I'm going to use a soccer reference because I know that people love when I pull in references from other sports. And they
remember that Boston College time?
Yeah, that was great. I do love some BC.
Less of that.
Manchester City are the best team in Europe.
Where are you going with this? You're hijacking the show.
This year, they signed the best young striker in the game. And everyone was like, oh my God, they're going to be even better.
Right.
Which I said, like, how? Dude, they win the league every year. How are they getting better? Like, they're so damn good. It's like with the SEC. It's like at this point, dude, you can say, yeah, they have plateaued. But even if they add, they're still going to be so dang good. You know what I mean? Like, we're not catching up to them, even if we sign the best young Pac-12 team in the world, Utah.
Oregon.
That would be great. That would be perfect for the conference. And we definitely step up. But I'm trying to think, is he saying that that the Big 12 is one day going to be kind of level with the SEC? Or is just going to be like there with the SEC, like a close second?
Big 12 has the highest growth capability compared to the SEC and Big 10.
So then I can agree with that.
Growth capability. Yeah.
Right.
The Big 12 can grow more than the SEC and Big 10 can grow because the Big 12 has the room to grow.
From third to third.
You grow from like, wow, they're in third place too. Oh, yeah. Third place.
I'll use another different sport reference. The Yankees got Anthony Rizzo at the trade deadline last year, went from third place to third place.
Yeah, can you put that to me
Joey Gallo.
Put that to me in like Big 12 terms, please?
I mean, that's like Oklahoma being a 9-3 third place team last year to being a 10-2 third place team this year.
Oh, okay. I'll accept that. I will accept that. Absolutely. That makes a ton of sense to me now.
Thank you.
Cam, the next thing I want to get to.
But they'll look good doing it.
The rest is mailbag. So we can agree. The Big 12 has the highest room for growth, but can they surpass the SEC in the Big 10? We're going to go with no. We're going to go with no. The Big 12 cannot ever surpass those conferences.
That's okay.
And it's okay. Okay, they cannot ever surpass it, but they do have the highest ceiling for growth, and they can take leaps and bounds of Brett Yormark, who Bob Bowlesby has probably never heard the song Still DRA. He is listening to...
He wouldn't have understood. Yeah,
Standing on the Promises, Alan Jackson hymnal album right now in his vehicle.
I was going with Peter, Paul, and Mary, but that's all right. I can
yeah. Mamas and the Papas. We'll bring them back from the other day. Yeah. So, Cam, the rest of this mailbag is pretty good, and I want to get to... The next thing I do want to get to in this, but I got to sneak in here and tell you about Locked On's newest sponsor, LinkedIn Talent Solutions. Now, LinkedIn Talent Solutions, it is the A1 place to make new hires for you. As the sun comes out for small businesses, you're starting to see people needing to hire new employees. And LinkedIn Solutions is your number one spot to make that happen as easy as possible. If you want to create free job openings, you can do it in minutes. You can do it for free. That's FREE. That spells free. Do it for free at LinkedIn. You go on there, add your job to the hashtag hiring frame, and from that point, people can start applying for whatever it is that your job may be, and you can find a way. It's easy to weed people out because it gives you so many options for filters. You don't have to sift through hundreds and hundreds of different applications. LinkedIn will do that for you. So you go to LinkedIn Solutions right now. LinkedIn Jobs helps you find the candidates you want to talk to every week. And that's 40 million people every week that actually go to LinkedIn and apply for new jobs. So visit right now, linkedin.com/lockedoncollege, linkedin.com/lockedoncollege to post your job for free. Terms and conditions do apply. Okay, Cam, the next question comes from Brandon McKinnon. Brandon says,
hey, Brandon.
So that one of the big things that I put on the mailbag question is you could also include dating questions. And Brandon's
which you are an expert, yeah.
Of which I have become pretty successful at after
you are dating months. A woman.
Yeah, I am doing that. Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Brandon says, speaking of dating, is Drake a good-looking individual or what? Cam, and go.
I'm going to go with yes, Drake, because I like this job.
Thank you very much.
The facial hair, a little suspect. I wish I had your hair, to be honest with you.
The facial hair part or the hair
No,
part?
The hair part.
Okay.
There's so many things you can do with that head of hair, which I appreciate. I don't have that. So
you go right there. You can go.
Yeah, and you probably don't need product most of the time. I mean, I'm sure you do use it.
I don't need it.
But you could just... I can't do that. So I'm going to go with yes.
Thank
you.
And
plus, I'd love to be blonde. So
rub some sand in it. That's all you got to do. Just some sand and you're good to go. Facial hair, not suspect. Next thing, Blue Brethren. They say the Blue Brethren from BYU actually say, why will BYU be your second favorite Big 12 team come next year? Cam, it made me think. I am wholly prepared for all the Baylor fans out there that are listening. Shout out to you in Malawi, especially. Cam, I am wholly prepared for Baylor and BYU to have the coolest, most cordial, most like, oh, you love God? We love God rivalry. It's inevitable.
You don't think that's ever going to turn of like, well, we loved God first.
Yeah.
You don't think that's going to happen? Anyway, I got to say, Drake, I do like BYU. Never had a problem with them. I've got extended family that lived in Utah. Used to send me BYU stuff, so I'd wear like BYU sweatshirts as a kid. No big deal. But I will say, in the past couple of months, I've watched now 3 miniseries about the LDS. None of them have been good.
Not that one. Not that Warren Jeffs.
Classic, right?
Are you gonna drop me a Warren Jeffs reference?
They've been good films, but not in the best light. I'm just kidding. I'm not holding LDS.
Catholics versus convicts.
Those people are way out.
Was that the other one? Did I get it? Did I get Warren Jeffs? Catholics versus convicts.
Murder Among the Mormons, which is like
Catholics
mafioso,
versus Convicts was not
good.
even BYU, by the way. I don't know where that came from.
It's not. I don't know. And then Under the Banner of Heaven with Andrew Garfield wasn't that great.
Hold on.
Wasn't that great?
Still DRE is to Jay-Z as Catholics versus Convicts is to BYU.
Latter-day Saints.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Still
Beautiful.
LDS. Right. They're so darn nice though. So I'm gonna go with they'll probably be my second.
You thinking about it? You considering?
Yeah, they'll be my second favorite team. Who else am I gonna pick?
Right.
If I had to pick someone else, it's going to be most likely a traditional Big 12 team.
Iowa State, Kansas State.
I do like Iowa State. They hate us. That is a weird dichotomy. Like they hate Baylor, except for Cyclone Larry.
They do actually.
That matters, and I love Cyclone Larry, and therefore Iowa State.
I do like Cyclone Larry. I do. It's you. Who is the hater you shouted at earlier that really doesn't like you?
Jeez, I already forgot his name because he's so.
Beginning of the show
out of my head. I could pick another one, or I can just go to the tweet. Keith Boatman.
Yep. Keith, shout out. Keith, as long as you like me, that's all. I am probably in the same boat as you, Keith, when it comes to Cam and his antics. Scott Riley says, I have as someone as well that is upset with me here. Scott, in the mailbag today on Locked On Baylor, that is brought to you by LinkedIn, says, talk about your methods to achieve dating success despite having a goatee.
That's a hurdle.
Yeah, that's a low. That's a low blow. To which it's nearly impossible. Scott, I was told the odds were zero. I was told they were zero. I'm living proof that is not true, and that it takes a village of hares to have a goatee.
Beat the odds.
And I have put that village to use in somehow finding a girlfriend, despite my current situation. She actually demands that I keep the facial hair. I'm trying to balance the what I didn't realize about the mailbag is they would get really derailed really fast. So we're trying to balance the serious
same
questions.
People who are criticizing us for derailing it too fast.
Right. Are the ones mailbagging. So the next one, I'm balancing the funny with the actual. Matt Workman says, what are the odds the Pac-12 in its current form, so like 6 teams, makes another TV contract, which that was an exaggeration. Pac-12 still has Washington and Oregon and Arizona State, Colorado, to the Utah, right? Remember all those tweets came out like 6 days ago? Today is the day. This afternoon, Arizona will announce that they're going to be it. Yeah. And nothing happened at all. Right. So nothing has happened yet. If the Pac-12, there are 10 teams, I think, still remaining in the Pac-12, that I should know. And so do they get a TV deal, those 10 teams, or is that a firm no?
I mean, they'll get something. I don't know if it'll be a good TV deal.
Pac-12 after dark. No. I like it. Pac-12 when the sun comes up. That's what we call it. And like 7 a.m. marquee games.
Well, I'm honestly thinking, even if they join the Big 12, all of them, let's just say, throw that hypothetical, all of them join.
Okay.
I wouldn't be surprised if they did like a mini TV deal. Whereas because they're going to be in pods and they're like, look, I mean, who else are you going to put on in this time slot?
Yeah.
Let's work out a deal just for us when we're playing these games, because there'll be 1 or 2 every week, obviously. And so I wouldn't be surprised to see that. So yeah, they'll go for it. I don't know if it's going to be very good. Facebook Live, Amazon Prime.
Yeah. I think YouTube TV.
Sicko 365.
I think YouTube TV is probably there. Look, live streams, the Hard Rock Baseball Network, maybe. Yeah. I don't know.
Reddit.
Cam, this one comes from Scotty B, the Baylor King. When will the Pac-12 writers and fans prepare for a thriller, as in the Pac-12 losing more teams and the Big 12 adding the Pac-12 teams? So basically, when will the people that do the things where they root for the teams that are in the Pac-12 accept the fact that the Pac-12, Cam, is dead?
Well, based on the comments section,
never.
It might be a while.
It might be a while.
I think some of them have already resigned to the fact. I mean, I was one of the ones who resigned to the fact that the Big 12, like Baylor, was going to be on the move last year. When it looked like the Big 12 were going down, I was like, I was coming to grips with it. I was okay with it. So I'll bet a bunch of them do, especially your smaller ones, your Arizona State, where you're just looking to go somewhere new. You haven't had much success and you're looking for a new home. And then your Oregon States and Washington States are like, we got to prepare for the worst here. So I'll bet there's still, most of them have already come around. In terms of the Washington and the Oregons, from what we've seen, never. Never.
And
they're like, we will make our own conference and we will be better than all of you.
Right. But it would take them officially coming to the Big 12 to answer your question, Scotty B, for them to accept the fact that they're going to go to the Big 12.
We won the gold medal in rowing in 1936. That's what the Washington fans are saying in the comments right now.
Well, they did.
Now.
They're not wrong. They're not incorrect with that. Remember?
A great book.
Dan the Rowboat Johnson? So they called him.
Correct.
Yep.
Yes.
Gold medalist.
Yes. Dan the Rowboat Johnson. Yeah.
Row that boat.
That was their
hashtag. Row that boat.
Yeah.
And they took it all the way to the victory, the gold medal. Hunter Bradford here. Thank you for your question, Scotty B. Hunter says, realignment. Is Notre Dame talk just talk or real possibility? I think Notre Dame will never, ever join the Big 12. Never happening. I think Notre Dame, if anything's going to change with them, football independent, they're cool with that, as they should be. They have a more successful TV deal than the entire Pac-12 does. So why would they ever go anywhere? Why would they even want to? But if they did, they would take all their stuff, all their happy little butts, because I'm not going to say the A word, to the Big Ten. Absolutely.
Oh, yeah, which baseball, they should, but they also have everything else in the ACC. So
not hockey.
Therefore, thank you. Therefore, the Big 12 is once again steadily third in that race. Steadily. I didn't even know that was a rumor. They are not coming to the Big 12.
No, well, and I think Hunter's asking in general.
Geographically, they absolutely should be in the Big 10. But.
Well, I think the question really is, where's Notre Dame going? It can't be the Big 10.
I don't think they're going anywhere.
I can't be I will put my left hamstring. I will eat my left hamstring raw on live. I'll do it live.
That is going to be great content.
It's good for TV. I'll do it live on Locked On Baylor if Notre Dame makes it to the Big 12. Clip it. Everybody clip it right now. Hunter also asked Big 12 sports. Football picked to finish number 1 in the Big 12. How dependent is the team on Blake Shapen to make sure that happens?
I mean, pretty dependent, but
there's a whole episode. That's a whole episode right there.
Yeah. I would say real quick, I think Blake Shapen is going to be a better quarterback than Gerry, and I didn't think Gerry had a bad season.
Higher ceiling.
But there were times last year where Gerry didn't give you much of anything.
That's true.
And you won the Big 12. So
yeah.
Probably not as dependent as some other teams in college football will need to be on winning their conference on their quarterback.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you need him to play well. You need him to be a good quarterback if you're going to win the conference, especially because we think the conference is going to be just as good, if not better, this
year. Spencer Sanders. I mean, look at how bad a quarter. Like maybe here's the deal with Gerry.
He sucks, dude.
While Gerry was not a world beater all times, he also wasn't a Baylor beater. Like he wasn't going to go out there and really just shoot you in the foot every game. So if Shapen is maybe he's not a world beater, but he's not a Baylor beater, then you could be in a pretty good spot. So I don't think
he's going to be a world beater, if we're being honest.
I think it's the offensive line. If 4 of the 5 guys in the offensive line get hurt, Baylor goes 6-6. That is where you make your bet this season. If Blake Shapen gets hurt, Baylor may lose one or 2 more games than they would have. I have decent confidence in Kyron Drones, the Louisiana Tech guy. Gosh, dang it. I do not remember his name. It's been a long day.
Keith Boatman.
No, nice try, though.
Are you
the
sure?
Louisiana Tech quarterback that transferred here, who was pretty good at Louisiana Tech, by the way. You have certain options at quarterback where you're going to be okay. Or Austin Novosad. Throw him in a game next season. Put him in some pads. Toss him out there. What does the NCAA do? Calvin Small. I like Calvin, by the way. Calvin said we're an S-tier podcast. I had to Google it. Urban Dictionary said it was supreme or superior. Thank you, Calvin. Calvin says, what is the hardest 3-game stretch that Baylor football will have all of next season? This may be my favorite question that I've ever gotten in my entire life. Cam, I'm going to give you time to pull the Baylor football schedule up because I know you probably
I've got it.
Oh, no chance. You're ready for it? All right. What
I didn't actually know about this question, but I got it. I'll give you it. November 5th through the 19th. Obviously, the Big 12, we get more bye weeks than everyone. No bye weeks here. At Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Hosting Kansas State and then hosting TCU. And then the week after, you go to Texas. So I'm picking this one because it's a 3-game stretch. But I think we all agree Kansas State's kind of a danger team this year. Oklahoma, I don't think it's going to be as good, but you're playing them on the road. Not terrific. And TCU is your bogey team.
Yeah. So I'm gonna balk at that. I am gonna go with Calvin. Baylor at Iowa State, September 24th.
Okay, this is fair.
Baylor at home against Oklahoma State, October 1st. Baylor on the road against West Virginia. Never won in Morgantown. Struggled to win in Ames consistently, and they still are, it's September 24th, so it's going to be like 30 degrees and snowing. And then Oklahoma State at home, they have Spencer Sanders, who, I don't know, he has to have an okay game against Baylor at some point in his life.
And I would just say, before you go more in depth into that, we have highlighted 7 games that could be tough for Baylor, not including BYU on the road. And we've been like the whole summer, we've been like, yeah, they're going to win the Big 12.
Well, he said 3-game stretch. What's the toughest?
No, I know. I'm just saying.
Parameters.
Like,
parameters.
We have been saying that, like, oh yeah, Baylor's going to win the Big 12. But here we highlight 7 games that we're all like, oh man, this could be tough. And there's an 8th game that also could be tough. So
yeah.
This is probably not going to be that easy as we think, but I could see your 3-game stretch too. It's not as good as mine, but I could see that.
Yeah, I know. I think mine
never winning in Morgantown is not a great stat. 2
road games at Morgantown and Ames are both not the most fun things to do. So also that you could go, because Kansas State's at home, TCU is also at home. Do you go Oklahoma, Kansas State, TCU, or do you go TCU, Kansas State, Texas? Which 3? By the way,
I'm still, because I think the Oklahoma game is going to be tougher than the Texas game. That was my thing with that. So, and we just struggle against TCU. So,
also, Hunter Bradford also asked us if carnations are romantic. Yes or no? Rapid fire.
It's an American Pie. So yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna go with the. I did see that movie when I was like 12. Not a good idea.
I meant the song by Jay-Z.
Pretty sure that was Biggie.
There are some very romantic things in the movie American Pie.
Also, Hunter, thank you very much on the softball transfers. Big, huge for Baylor. We'll be whole episode about that.
Unbelievable. Can't
Stephen
wait.
Vaughn, Stephen from Virginia. Last one here. We have a minute and 15 seconds till Zoom kicks us off.
Before the Zoom.
Yeah, literally. What's more realistic? Baylor repeats as Big 12 champion again in football this coming season, or basketball? Football or basketball? Football or basketball? Football
Men's
or basketball?
basketball? It's basketball. I think Baylor will probably win in football, and the Big 12 basketball is going to be tough. But I think this team is so good in basketball.
Baylor would be like the majority of the world in basketball in Canada.
I think
don't know if you guys saw that.
I think this is a Final Four caliber team. If
I'm Drake Toll. That's Cameron Stewart. Won't be for much longer, by the way.
They just cut out the time. It just
the episode between 68 and 70. He's not going to be there for. I'm Drake Toll with Cam Stewart. This has been, always will be. Come back Wednesday. We're going to have a huge show with Locked On Big 12, and Scotty Swingler comes on this week. Locked On Baylor.